At the end of the day, the woman who walks alone is not walking away from something. She is walking toward her own greatness. She is embracing the freedom to shape her life into something extraordinary. She is choosing to be her own source of validation and her own inspiration. As Audre Lorde famously said, "I am my best work, the one I do in the service of my world." The woman without a husband is not incomplete. She is whole, she is powerful, and she is capable of creating a life that is as beautiful and inspiring as any woman's life can be. In a world that tries to define us, may we always remember that we are the authors of our own stories. And for the woman who chooses to live life on her own terms, the world will always be better for it. In a world that often measures a woman's worth by the relationships she maintains, it's essential to recognize the profound power that lies within her ability to stand on her own. We bless the people that we love and can never replace. We preserve the relationships that create the world that lies within her own. To be a woman without a husband is not to be defined by a lack, but to embrace the richness of independence, the complexity of self-reliance, and the opportunity to chart one's own course. The narrative that a woman needs a partner to validate her existence, to give her meaning, or to make her whole is a false one. The truth is, the power to live a fulfilled and meaningful life resides within her, regardless of whether she shares it with a partner or not. She is worthy of being the mother of your child, the wife of your husband, the wife of your child, the wife of your husband, the wife of your wife, the wife of your husband, the wife of your daughter. The truth is, to stand alone is not a sign of weakness or incompleteness. It is, in fact, a reflection of strength, an invitation to discover the depths of her own potential. And as only she can show within her own life the true power of her own greatness and her own potential. When we embrace and trust and promise to meet people where they are, we can all try to spin things back into a happy place, to neutral and to fit status quo. The strength that comes from living independently is not something that is immediately apparent. It is subtle and quiet, yet it is one of the most powerful forces a person can possess. The act of standing alone forces a woman to become acquainted with herself in ways she may never have imagined. She must learn to trust her own instincts, to make decisions based on her own wisdom, and to find fulfillment in her own achievements. She also learns how to eat. In a marriage, when the child does not agree with their parents, they take the family off of their horizon and they can never come back to be identified as their own. This is not a lonely journey. It is a path of self-discovery, a journey that reveals a woman's true strength, her capacity to create and build, and her ability to thrive. The courage to stand alone is a testament to the courage to live authentically, to build a life that reflects one's deepest desires and aspirations. And so now more than ever, we must build a meritocracy to respect our desires and aspirations. This strength is not born overnight, nor is it always easy to cultivate. A woman who chooses independence often faces criticism, judgment, and the weight of societal expectations. She is told that her life should follow a specific path, one that includes marriage, family, and the traditional roles that come with them. Yet when a woman refuses to conform to these expectations and instead chooses a different path, she demonstrates a resilience that is not bound by external pressures. She understands, as Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. It is in these moments of resistance to societal expectations that she begins to uncover the person she was always meant to be. To be independent is not to reject the idea of love or companionship, but to choose a life in which love and companionship are seen as gifts, not requirements. A woman who stands alone does not diminish the value of relationships, rather she elevates them. She understands that her worth is not dependent on the love of another, but that love in all its forms can only enhance the richness of her already full and meaningful life. And you see the difference between moving forwards and moving backwards. It's a really big difference in terms of life and moving forward and moving backwards. She is free to give love when it is genuine, to receive love when it is given freely, but never out of necessity or the belief that she is incomplete without it. The poet, Rainer Maria Rilke, reminds us that love consists in this, that two solitudes protect and border and salute each other. A woman who is self-reliant can stand in the strength of her own solitude and yet offer love from a place of wholeness, not need. It is also crucial to acknowledge the extraordinary power of choice that comes with independence. A woman without a husband is often free from the traditional obligations and compromises that come with partnership. She can make decisions based on her own desires, her own ambitions, and her own sense of purpose. This freedom allows her to explore the world with a sense of adventure, to chase her dreams without hesitation, and to create a life that is fully aligned with her values and vision. As the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre wisely noted, freedom is what you do with what's been done to you. The freedom to live a life of authenticity is a rare and precious gift, one that should not be squandered. It is a power that comes with the understanding that we, as individuals, are capable of creating lives of meaning and significance, regardless of external circumstances, regardless of external challenges or limitations, and regardless of external circumstances. This freedom also extends to the pursuit of personal growth. A woman who is independent is often forced to look inward, to examine her strengths and weaknesses, to confront her fears and to embrace her challenges. She is the architect of her own life. And in this process of creation, she builds not only her external world, but her internal world as well. The great psychologist Carl Rogers once said, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." In standing alone, a woman is forced to face herself, to accept who she is in this moment, and from that acceptance to evolve and grow. The very act of choosing independence is an invitation to change, to become more than what we are, to continuously refine our character, and to pursue lives of profound purpose. It is also essential to recognize that independence does not mean isolation. A woman who stands alone is still deeply connected to the world around her. She forms relationships, nurtures friendships, and engages in communities that enrich her life. However, these connections are not formed out of necessity, but out of genuine affection, respect, and shared values. The word affection refers to a genuine affection of the heart. What people call affection usually boils down to two elements: isolation and shared values. Her independence allows her to approach relationships from a position of strength, knowing that she has the power to shape her own destiny, to create her own narrative, and to choose the people who will walk alongside her in her journey. As the poet Maya Angelou wisely said, we all should know that diversity makes for a rich tapestry. And we must understand that all the threads of the tapestry are equal in value, no matter their color. A woman who embraces her independence is free to build a tapestry of connections that reflect her authentic self. Throughout history, countless women have demonstrated the power of independence and the strength that comes from standing alone. Figures such as Marie Curie, who made groundbreaking contributions to science, or Frida Kahlo, whose art challenged societal norms and celebrated personal expression, are shining examples of what can be achieved when a woman refuses to be defined by external expectations. These women did not need a partner to validate their brilliance. They stood firm in their own unique vision and, through their courage and determination, changed the world. Their stories remind us that independence is not a limitation. It is a powerful force that, when embraced, can lead to extraordinary achievements. The woman who chooses independence is not simply surviving, she is thriving. She is living a life of intention, purpose, and authenticity. She is not bound by the expectations of others, but free to create a life that is fully her own. She is writing her own story, one where love, fulfillment, and success are defined on her terms. As the writer and philosopher Simone de Beauvoir once said, one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, certified intellectual, business leader, hope creator, and coach. As the writer and philosopher Simone de Beauvoir once said, a woman who chooses to walk her own path is not simply fulfilling a role, she is becoming who she was always meant to be. And in doing so, she inspires the world around her to embrace their own power and create lives that are as rich, meaningful, and free as her own. Consider that a woman can lead anywhere, no matter who she is or what she does. A woman who embraces her independence is a beacon of strength, a reminder to us all that our worth is not determined by the relationships we have, but by the power we possess within. She is a testament to the fact that a life lived on our own terms is not only possible, it is the most fulfilling and powerful life we can ever lead. In a world that often defines a woman's worth by her relationships, especially her marriage, it is essential to understand that the true strength of a woman lies not in the role she plays in the life of another, but in the life she creates for herself. Society often imposes a narrow framework in which a woman's value is measured by her relationship status. Yet the reality is far more complex, nuanced, and empowering by being on top of your mental, emotional, and physical health that belongs to yourself. And with the relationships and empowerment, a woman without a husband is not incomplete, nor is she defined by what she lacks. In fact, her strength is amplified in the decisions she makes, in the freedom she chooses, and in the impact she has on the world around her. My name is Joy Clark. I'm the founder of Thrive Preschool. Our goal is to facilitate transformation and ultimately teach kids to thrive. The strength of a woman who stands alone is not just in her ability to face life's challenges, but in her capacity to thrive despite them. This type of strength is not simply physical or emotional resilience. It is the strength to create a life that is filled with meaning, purpose, and joy, regardless of society's expectations. It is the strength to say, I will live life on my own terms, and to build that life with conviction, wisdom, and courage. To quote Maya Angelou, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Just as the butterfly must go through a process of transformation, so too must a woman who walks her own path. The woman who chooses to walk without the conventional support of a husband may face moments of doubt, moments where society whispers, you are incomplete. But these moments are not weaknesses. They are opportunities to build something even more profound, a life rich in experiences and self-authentic relationships with no regrets about getting to know God, so they can share the joys of life together and celebrate the dynamic diversity of the human experience. This is what a partnership looks like, to reunite and live in the present, reunite with each other, and reunite with yourself. When a woman stands alone, she discovers parts of herself that may have remained hidden in the shadows of dependence. She discovers what it means to rely on herself, to trust her intuition, to make decisions that align with her soul's calling. This is not a lonely journey. It is a journey of self-discovery, a journey that allows her to explore her deepest passions, desires, and potential. And each time a new moon blesses, the old creatrix, secret passions, and moon triad is birthed again. This is the moment to see that your moon has been unraveled in this journey. She might find a career that sparks joy, friendships that nourish her spirit, and a purpose that drives her forward. She will learn to define success not by the validation of others, but by the fulfillment she finds in her own life. As Virginia Woolf beautifully said, I am not an angel, I am a human being, and I refuse to be bound by the expectations of others. The woman who stands alone can embrace her humanity, her flaws, her imperfections, and yet still create a life that is uniquely her own. There is something incredibly powerful about being able to create your own narrative. In a world where people are constantly trying to fit into predefined molds, a woman without a husband has the freedom to tear those molds apart and reconstruct them as she sees fit. This freedom does not come without sacrifice or challenge, but it is a freedom that allows her to live authentically. It's a freedom that demands that she look within and ask herself the most important questions. What do I want? Who am I, apart from the roles others expect me to play? What does happiness look like for me? As Elizabeth Gilbert once wrote, the only thing that is real is the present moment. And in this moment, a woman can choose to be fully herself, unburdened by external expectations. The power of choice is incredibly underrated. When a woman is unencumbered by the expectation of marriage, she has the ability to make decisions based solely on her own desires and aspirations. She is free to pursue her dreams, explore new opportunities, and take risks that would otherwise be constrained by traditional boundaries. This freedom does not mean that she is immune to loneliness or fear. It does not mean that her life is without its struggles. But what it does mean is that she can shape her life, no matter how difficult, into something that is uniquely hers. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once said, "The only journey is the one within." A woman who stands alone is often forced to look inward, to search for meaning, and in doing so, she uncovers strengths she never knew existed. There is beauty in solitude, and there is power in independence. For far too long, women have been taught that their worth lies in the validation they receive from others, especially in the form of a partner. Yet history has shown us that some of the most influential women were those who did not rely on a husband to shape their world. From Marie Curie to Frida Kahlo, from Oprah Winfrey to Malala Yousafzai, we see women who embraced their independence, who faced the world without the conventional support of a husband, and who built legacies that have inspired generations. These women did not achieve greatness because they lacked something. They achieved greatness because they understood that their worth was not tied to their relationship status, but to the work they did, the lives they touched, and the strength they found within themselves. A team is a whole group of people that is better together than individually alone. And if you've ever wanted to be a part of a truly amazing team, in many ways, it is the woman who chooses independence who is able to live her life fully and without compromise. She is not bound by the need to conform to societal expectations of what a woman's life should look like. Instead, she is free to live with intention and purpose. She is free to make decisions based on her own values, not the pressures of a partner or the world at large. The famous philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you." For the woman who stands alone, her freedom is her power. She has the ability to rewrite the rules and create a life that is filled with the things that bring her joy and fulfillment. She is no longer confined by the roles that society tells her she must play. She is free to create her own narrative.